So this is great. We've got notes that persist across page refreshes. But what if I need to log in from my other computer? Or what if I'm visiting my parents and I need to use their computer and get to my precious notes? What if I want to get to them on my phone? They're not going to be there, right? Local storage is just saved in the browser. It is scoped by domain, by the way, so there's no risk of other sites being able to access local storage from a different site. But it'd be really cool if these were actually stored in the cloud somewhere. But this is a front-end class. We're not back-end developers. If only there were a back-end as a service that we could use. Behold Firebase. Who signed up for a Firebase account? All right. It is owned by Google, yeah. So if you haven't yet, create a Firebase account. And then you're going to want to add a project. I will call mine Notes 18S1 Afternoon. You maybe don't need to name yours something that complicated because you don't write note herders 6 times a year. Default sharing. No, I don't want to share a gosh darn thing. Thank you. All right. Continue. No to the data sharing. Thank you. Appreciate it. Oh, yeah. There's nothing they don't already know, but it makes me feel better. My new project is ready. Sweet. Get started here. iOS, Android, the web. That sounds like us. Add Firebase to your web app. So we could put this snippet in our HTML. But we're using React. We've got a whole library thing going on here. We don't want to mess with our HTML. We want to load our JavaScript out of our source directory. So we're not going to do it quite like this, but we're going to need to do is basically the same thing. So first, they have a script that actually loads Firebase. We could probably load Firebase from NPM. Then they initialize it. Cool. Let's see. How about yarn add Firebase? It's there. That's probably fine. Okay. So that will put it in our package.json. Firebase, here it is. So then we should be able to import it. So let's see here. I'm going to put this kind of stuff in my source directory. I'm not going to put it in a component, though. This is just going to be kind of a configuration file. So in my source directory, I'm going to create a new file. I'm going to call it lowercase b base.js. It's not a component. I'm not going to capitalize it. Let's paste this stuff in there and have a look at it. So it complains that Firebase is not defined. So maybe we could say import Firebase from Firebase. Sure. Why not? Now what? Well, we got that far. That's something. Look at all these nice features it has. Database, that seems like the one we want. Cloud Firestore beta, the next generation of the real-time database with more powerful queries and automatic scaling, or real-time database, store and sync data in real time across all connected clients. Since this is a beta, let's not try to figure this thing out on the fly, only to have it break in a couple weeks. Let's just use the old one. Hopefully they won't deprecate it in the middle of class like they did 2 years ago. That was fun. Okay, get started with real-time database. Start in locked mode or start in test mode. So you can write rules to say who can read and write data. By default, it just locks it so no one can do either. We don't have any users yet. We don't have authentication. So if we want this thing to work at all, we probably need to be in test mode where everyone can read and write. So start in test mode. There we go. And there's a big red rule, note here that says that it's public, anyone can read or write. So I won't dismiss that. I'll leave that there to remind us that we need to deal with that sooner or later. All right, so I've got a database. Add Firebase real-time database. Not doing anything yet, but it's there.